Zeus, after a prayer from his son Acus, changes the ants living in an old oak tree into men. These men, named Myrmidons after the Greek word for ants, come to be. Overwhelmed by such immense suffering, Acus cried out, "O Zeus, if the tales of your union with Aegina, daughter of Asopus, are true, and you are not ashamed, mighty father, to be my progenitor, then either restore my people to me, or bury me alongside them." In response, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled gently. Taking this as a sign, he said, "May these be favorable omens of your intentions. I accept this sign as a promise." Nearby stood an oak sacred to Zeus, grown from seeds from Dodona, its branches scant but wide-spreading. They saw ants, busy carrying loads in their tiny mouths, marching in a line along the tree's bark. Marveling at their number, Aacus prayed, "Gracious Father, grant me citizens as numerous as these ants to fill my empty city walls." The oak quivered and rustled its branches without a breeze. He trembled with fear, yet kissed the ground and the oak, concealing his hopes though secretly nurturing them. Night fell, and exhausted he slept. In his dreams, the same oak appeared, teeming with branches and creatures, swaying and scattering ants on the ground below. Suddenly they grew, becoming larger and more human-like, shedding their previous form and color, and standing upright. Acus awoke, dismissing the vision as futile, feeling abandoned by the gods. But within the palace, he heard murmurs, voices of men unfamiliar yet somehow known. Thinking it a continuation of his dream, Telamon burst in, exclaiming, "Father, come quickly! You won't believe what's happening." Stepping outside, he saw the same men from his dream, now before him in reality. They greeted him as their king. He offered thanks to Zeus, divided the city and lands among them, and named them Myrmidons, honoring their origin. These men, hardworking and thrifty, will join you in war as soon as the favorable winds that brought you here change direction. 7. Procris becomes a huntress. Œdipus and the Sphinx. Cephalus, having spurned the advances of Eos, who had developed feelings for him while hunting, disguises himself and returns to his wife Procris to test her love. Discovering his suspicions, Procris flees to the woods, vowing not to see him again. Eventually reconciled, she gifts him a dog and a javelin once given to her by Artemis. The dog, while hunting a wild beast sent by Themis to ravage Thebes, is turned to stone. As they shared these and other stories, the day passed. The evening was spent feasting, followed by rest. By morning, the east wind still blew, delaying their departure. The sons of Pallas visit Cephalus, now aged. Finding the king still asleep, they are received by Phocus, son of Aeacus, as Telamon and his brother recruit soldiers for war. Phocus leads them to a room where they sit, noticing the grandson of Aeolus holding a javelin made of unfamiliar wood, tipped with gold. After exchanging a few casual remarks, one of the Athenian brothers remarked, "I have been curious about the wood from which that javelin shaft is carved. It's truly remarkable. If it were ash, it would be brown, and if it were dogwood, it would have knots. I don't know its origin, but I've never seen a javelin crafted from such exquisite wood." Another brother chimed in, "Its beauty is surpassed only by its effectiveness. It never misses its mark, and it always returns stained with blood." Intrigued, the Nerean youth asked about its origin and purpose. Cephalus shared some details but remained silent about certain aspects, his sorrow for his lost wife evident in his tears. "Son of a goddess," he began, "this weapon, unbeknownst to me, brought about my downfall and that of my beloved wife. If only I had never received it. Procris, the sister of Orithyia, was given to me in marriage by her father Erechtheus. Our love made us happy. But then Eos, with her rosy face, snatched me away against my will as I hunted on Mount Hymettus. Despite Eos's beauty and divine status, my heart remained loyal to Procris. I pleaded with Eos, citing our marriage vows and recent union, but she grew angry and returned me to Procris, warning me that I would regret it. As I journeyed back, pondering the words of Eos, doubts began to creep into my mind regarding my wife's fidelity. Her beauty and youthfulness stirred suspicions of infidelity, yet her virtue urged me to dismiss them. But I had been absent, and the recent example of infidelity weighed heavily on my mind. Lovers tend to anticipate misfortunes. I resolved to test her fidelity, encouraged by Eos's insinuations and my own fears. Disguised, I returned to Athens, the city of Pallas, and entered my own house unnoticed. The house, ever vigilant for the return of its master, showed no signs of wrongdoing. It was a sanctuary of chastity, worried for my safety. Despite my intentions, upon seeing Procris, I was struck by her beauty and nearly abandoned my plans. I struggled to withhold the truth and the affection I owed her. She was in sorrow, yet her beauty shone even in sadness, consumed by longing for her absent husband. Procris's virtue repelled my advances countless times. She declared, "I am reserved for but one, wherever he is, for that one do I reserve my joys." This trial of her fidelity should have been sufficient for any man, yet I was not satisfied. I feigned offers of wealth for a night with her, pushing her to the brink until she finally wavered, succumbing to temptation. In my triumph, I revealed my true identity, accusing her of treachery. Procris, overwhelmed with silent shame, fled from the house of deceit, and from her resentment toward me, she renounced the company of men, wandering the mountains in service to Artemis. Abandoned, I begged for forgiveness and admitted my fault. Eventually, after she had avenged her honor, she returned to me, and we spent many happy years together. As a token of reconciliation, she gifted me a dog and a javelin. As for the fate of the other gift, it is a tale of wonder. The javelin, named Œdipus, was a swift and formidable weapon. Its speed matched that of a flying beast, and it eluded capture with ease. One day, while hunting with Œdipus, I witnessed a miraculous sight. 2 marble statues, one in pursuit and the other fleeing, frozen in time by the will of the gods.